start with an easy one. First, align with this stud, go back until you're around the middle of this stud, align right here on the edge of this texture, and then just wrap. It's mostly consistency based, so don't even worry about it if you don't make it. You just gotta get really consistent with it. Like most of the time now, I don't even have to align and I can just go. This jump is also one of those consistency based jumps. There really is no alignment, you just go for it. If you wanna do this jump really quickly, just like align right here, turn until like you're a little bit off the platform, look directly back, and then just climb this. If you wanna do this jump really fast, just align like this and then jump. This one is also consistency based. You just have to get a little bit low. I like to go around here and go down a little bit, turn into the middle, and then jump. This is also kind of consistency based, but you can like align like as high as you want, and then just shift lock out, and then like really late tap W. Right here, I really like to just skip this, jumping off like this section right here and just jump to the end. It makes it a ton easier. Make sure you angle it enough out so that way you don't hit your head on this thing. For this one, it's a very simple alignment. Just turn like this, like go right here, and then turn until you're focusing on that, and then just jump. This head hitter is also very consistency based. You just have to learn the timing to jump, and then you're like good with it. This is kind of consistency based, but it's just all about finding the timing of like when you need to flick in. A lot of people like to climb this, and I think it's still a good strat, but if you want to flick in, you can actually save a lot easier because you're turning this way when you're falling. This is one I think people struggle with the most. They like to go out and then turn in like this, which is kind of easy, but you can just find an easier alignment by going right here to the end of this stud, going to the texture, and then just jumping and turning and like tapping W really late. And make sure you don't like hit your head on this. Just wall hop that thing, man. Don't do anything else on that, please. You want to climb and then get like at least like around halfway, like to the middle of this stud. You want to turn a little bit so that way you're away from this so you don't walk off when you go down. You want to hold space just for a little bit, and then you want to get down to like a halfway about like in this gap. Turn, you can turn as much as you want, and then just look backwards and then shift lock off. Now once you're on this truss, you want to get around it, flick around until you're like about here. It doesn't really matter, but as long as you go up, you tap space so that you don't hit your head when you're going like this. And you just, it doesn't matter how you're lining for this part, just like tap A. And if you're aligned past this so you don't run into it, then you're good. You just go for it. This head hitter really has no strategy unless you want to get really consistent. You can go find somebody else that like does it like that. But most of the time I just go like around like halfway up this thing and then just go for it. And if you fail, you save here and you can just do it over and over again until you land it. For this thing here, it's much easier than Gusty's strat. All you have to do is turn in like ghost mode shift lock until you're climbing it. And then look at this part right here, like this edge right here. You like scroll in, and then just look a little bit to the left instead of just straight, and then just like jump late. This here is a new strategy that came like really soon or whatever. All you want to do is you want to get up here and just climb about halfway in between these. This like the stud. Align halfway in between both of these, the texture and the end of the stud. Go down until your torso is like in between this texture and that, the end of the stud, and then just jump really late. Make sure to angle out for this jump because I don't know why, it just helps a ton. You can just ball grab here to make this easier unless you want to go like this, the Skitsuna strat, and just jump. It really doesn't make a difference. If you're this far out when you land on it, you're not going to be able to do this strat correctly like this because it's not going to let you do the jump. So if you're in this situation where you're like hanging really far off the stud, go over here to this side and tap until you're in, turn a little bit, and then go over here, flick off to the side, and land on it again. So that way you're like actually pushed into the truss. And then for the actual strat, you want to turn like once you're about like halfway up here, and then just do it like a head hitter. For this jump, you want to go like this, like right next to the middle, but not too far, because if you do it too far and you look in and you just shift lock, it sometimes can like push you off. But around the middle area, maybe a little bit to the like right, and then like ghost mode out, and then boom. Then you want to shift lock sideways and jump off. For this one, you want to look at this stud right here. It doesn't matter if you jump or anything, just look at this stud. You can look down, whatever, and then just push yourself into the wall as you're going up by like jumping a little bit late while you're holding A. Don't even try and climb this because it's a lot scary if you're trying to climbing this, and it's just like not that great of a climb spot, so don't, please. For this one, if you want to make it easier for yourself, instead of having to rely on your like instincts to just go like this, you can align like this and then go out like angled, like a 45-degree angle, and just jump. Most of the time you will make it. I don't know why I failed at that time. That's kind of sad. Trust me, it's reliable. For this one, I really like to go around like here in third person, which is like, I don't know, around this area. Also, why did I just say third person? You go around here and make sure you're like between this area or like right here, Then you go down here, turn to about here, and just go for it. It doesn't really matter where you position on this, just make sure you're consistent, because even if you do fail this, it doesn't matter, because you can just like save here, but it's still really good to be consistent. To go around here, you can either just wait here and then like shift lock sideways and go like that, or you can just go like that and just turn really fast. For this here, you want to get to like around halfway, and then you want to turn in and look at this corner, and then just jump really late. For this one, climb and just like shift lock here. Make sure you're angled a little out so you don't hit your head here, and then just jump. It is a very difficult jump, so don't be surprised if you fail it a bunch. For this one, this like always has a different strat because wedges are stupid and get updated like every freaking day. But you want to line up around here. You want to like use alignment keys so you're aligned this way. Go in first person, spam space until you like right here. Make sure you're like standing like this, because if you're like doing the walking animation, which I'll show like this, if you're looking like this, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It just gives me more confidence when my character is standing still, but you just want to like do it like a head hitter. This is arguably the hardest jump of this floor, so don't be afraid of failing this, because you will. This isn't really a strat, just go down so you don't hit your head, because if you fail this, I hate you. It's not that hard, guys, come on. For here, you want to go just below here, and like just below the stud, and then just flick. For this jump, a lot of people have trouble with it. You can either go like this, like you can jump up like that, or you can like grab onto the side and climb up. But the most reliable strat is just to go in first person and hold W and A. You should land on it like this and just either hold W or W and A, and you should make it up like that. Now for the hardest jump of floor 8, kind of, I don't know. But you want to do this. You want to line up for like maybe around here on this stud right here. You want to like line your feet up with this like stud right here. You want to look at the corner of it, like tap W a couple times, and then align around here, and then just go for it. But if your character bobs, like if you're like aligning for this and you shift lock in and it looks like that, where it does that kind of little bob, it's not going to work like any way good. I cannot form sentences. You get what I mean. All of this gameplay is just like finding your own like comfortable way of doing it. There's really no strats. Here's where my strats get weird. All you have to do is go like this, like get around here, turn, W and D up, point at this like corner of this texture right here, and then shift lock, jump like that. It is kind of inconsistent, but once you get it down, you can actually do it. Just like that. This is more reliable to just flick it. If you get consistently like that, if you can get that super consistent, there's really no need to do whatever people do when they like bounce off the truss like this. I can't really do it because I don't know how to do it properly, but it's easier like that, man. Right here, all you have to do is go to this texture and point out a little bit as far as you can go, but not too far, because if you like aim right here and you move down, you're gonna move, so be careful where you're pointing. But make sure you're like around here and then just jump off while you're moving up and turn in. For this head hitter, if you want to go like this, that's perfectly fine, but you have to jump much later. If you want to make this jump so much easier for you and you don't fail it like me, just do it like this and shift lock. It's a lot easier and it pushes you out kind of when you're walking backwards, so you don't have to time it as difficult. For this one, just land on the truss like about down here, and if you don't land in and you're like this on the truss, you can just walk up it and like go right here and jump. Make sure you're going up when you're doing that, so that way you can get height and not just go like this. But once you get like you land on the truss like as close as you can, once you get on the truss like this, then you can like get about here, like a little bit higher than the truss, and shift lock flick off. And when you're landing on this, think about landing it like this and then just turning in. Then remember to get down really low so you don't hit your head. And once you do that, you don't do this. Please, nobody do that. Please never do that. Oh my gosh. 410, you really don't need strats for, since you have all the time in the world, unless you're like me and have terrible internet. Then otherwise, you can just have all the time you want to get past this floor. So there's really no need for strats, but if you want specific strats, I'll give you them right here. Also, did I just say gear instead of here? I'm kind of going insane. On this truss, you want to get around here and then like shift lock in. And once you're like around here and you shift lock in, do it like a head hitter. Right here, just turn once you're around here and then just shift lock in like a W and D. For here, just go like this, tap D until you're climbing, go down, and do D in space. For this one, just go like around this like middle of these two parts and then just shift lock. The last important one is just climbing here and then turning and then jump late so that we get height.